So what's going on with Starfield? Elder Scrolls 6?
Big Starfield interview. Not specifically about Starfield. It was Todd Howard and Lex Fridman doing a nearly 3-hour interview. Long form, open, no cuts, just straight talking.
Did he manage to get anything out of him?
There was, I think somebody put together a supercut of about 5 minutes of Lex trying to pry the next, where is the next Elder Scrolls game happening? What province is it in it? What time zone is it happening?
Tamriel. It's taking place in Tamriel.
Yeah, well, that's what Todd Howard said. He's like, happening in Tamriel. He's like, I can tell you that it's Tamriel. Yeah, it's like but Lex tried so many different ways. It was hilarious. It was so fun to watch. And they did talk a lot about Fallout. They talked a lot about, and this gave me a lot of hope. He went into detail on how involved he was and is in the show, and how they've pulled together a lot of older voices in the Fallout franchise and put them together, and how the director was a serious Fallout fan. And they didn't even negotiate with him. They said, Todd was like, I would really like this guy to be able to do the Fallout series. And I apologies, I cannot remember his name right now. I don't have it in my notes, and I don't want to. I think I know who it is, but I don't want to misquote. So the director of the new Fallout TV show, he was called up. He was asked if he would be interested in doing a game script, and he goes, "What game?" And they said Fallout. He goes, "Yes." He says, "I will do that almost for free." Yes, I'm a huge Fallout fan. I have played all the games. I want to do this. Make it happen. So that, now again, that's what they said. I've heard that before, and sometimes that's less true than they make it out, because it's something that excites the fans, right? So that may not necessarily be entirely true, but it gives me hope that they are really trying to do things right, and that the Fallout Bible has been mentioned, or that it is probably even on the scene. On the scene, on set. Sorry. I am genuinely really interested in this. I'm excited to see where this goes. I believe that we can, if this continues to go right, I honestly think that we're going to get a great show. And my excitement for Starfield has gone through the roof as well.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons, a lot of talk reasons. I'm not going to go into them because we don't know for sure yet, because we haven't seen it yet. Don't pre-order, don't overhype something. We're trying to follow through with that. We want to be hyped, we want to be happy, we want to give you guys positive information, but we don't want to let you down again. And we were all burned by Cyberpunk and some other games, and we don't want to jump the shark again on this. We want to look at it, say, well, all right, all of the good things were there, but it was a talk, obviously, from Todd. Obviously, he's going to talk up everything, right? So let's look at were there any warning signs in the interview? And there was one serious one that some people are commenting on, and that is, a lot of people are freaking out because Todd Howard said that he liked 2 games that had heavy monetization in it. One being the sports game that has tons of monetization in it, and the other one being Diablo Immortal. Said that those were great games that he was really amazed with. And I want to right here say, don't freak out about this. Don't freak out about this. Don't lose your mind over it. Don't think this is the end of the world. This is not. And the main reason for that is, if you go through all of the interviews with Todd Howard, he has never, ever, 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 ever dissed any other game except for his own. He has never looked at another product and said, that was a real letdown, that was a disappointment. He always says basically the same thing. That's a really amazing game. Those guys are working really hard. Those are almost always totally true statements. Yeah, it is a game that people poured a lot of love and sweat into. Maybe it wasn't good, but it was something that a lot of people put a lot of effort into. So he doesn't diss anything. He was asked about the PlayStation. He praised the PlayStation in almost the exact same verbiage, even though he's not releasing his next game on PlayStation. It's going to be Xbox exclusive. this is just a generalized sign that he's just trying to be a positive player and a positive voice, and that he doesn't believe that negativity helps anything. The other thing to mention and to notate on is that it appears, as through many parts of the interview when they were talking about these all these sports games that he played, from the NFL to the soccer ones to the football ones, American football, he did talk a lot about how he loved playing them and he loved building his decks, but it seemed to be quite clear that he didn't use the microtransaction systems within the games to build his decks. He talked about how the challenge was to get what you got without spending money, essentially. So that's where I think he probably played those games, is that he didn't play them with any microtransaction at all. And that is an actual significant challenge. Actually, it is actually quite difficult to play a game that it has microtransactions without spending any money on microtransactions. Not difficult, a challenge. That's what I meant. It's a challenge, and it's a challenge that a lot of streamers do. There's a lot of streamers who play games like Genshin Impact, Tower Fantasy, and even Diablo Immortal, where they have that running total of showing how much they've spent on the game, which is $0, and they're showing you how to make the most out of it. I wish that was different. I wish that more of these companies wouldn't do those dirty microtransaction things. But to note that is that is something that is starting to show up in the genre of free to play games, is being 100% free to play. Spending no money on any of these games, despite the offers that they throw at you with an 800% value. It's 800%. You're losing money by not spending money on this object. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff, that's the only warning sign for me to keep this rather short. But as far as the news is my excitement for Starfield higher or lower? And I'll be honest, it is higher.
Yeah, me too.
It is a lot higher, having watched this, because they talked about one of the big criticisms was, you're gonna have 1,000 worlds, oh my goodness, and 100 systems, you're gonna step on a planet, there's gonna be nothing there. Oh, so boring. Oh, gross. Actually, that's something that they talked about, and they talked about it in a way that really got me, and that is, yeah, there's a lot of planets in a solar system. Even if we develop space flight tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of planets, a lot of moons, a lot of locations in space where there's just nothing but resources there, and a lot of empty rock. And what they said is that they have labeled every planet with the threat level and with the life level. So you're going to go to a planet and it's going to tell you, hey, this planet, there ain't nothing living on this planet. There's nothing. There's a lot of resources. You can go get it. You can go out and you can build an outpost there. You can go and settle that world, settle that moon, settle that biosphere. And it's going to be one of those unique things where, you think about it. It's like, what did Neil Armstrong think when he set foot on the moon? He is the only living thing that has been on that moon, minus the space Nazis and the dinosaurs, that was on that planet at that time. An entire planet. He is the only one standing on its surface. And then 5 minutes later, Buzz comes out. Imagine that. That is absolutely phenomenal. It really is. And to go get in a ship, fly to a planet, land on that planet, there is something magical about that. There's something deep about that concept of walking to a planet, seeing a planet that has no life whatsoever. You're the only living thing there. That's kind of a cool concept. And they've stated that is you're not gonna fly to a planet, run around for 5 hours, go, there's nothing here, oh my god, and then rage quit. It's going to tell you, hey, there's nothing on this planet. Just so you know, there's nothing you can explore all day long. You will not encounter an enemy. You might encounter some ruins. You might encounter some space junk. Maybe an old site that was abandoned. But right now, there's nothing on this planet. So if you're expecting a fight, don't come here. They're over on this planet. There's a whole bunch of things on this planet to murder if you want. So you can go over there and murder hobo the living hell out of that planet. But on this planet, it's nothing. And I think that's good, because if you're not interested in seeing a barren planet, you don't have to go to them. But the cool thing is that you can be on any planet in that game, look up, see the moon, go, I can get on my ship, I can fly up to that moon, I can land on it, and I can build an outpost. And then I can staff it with people. We can build a mining colony there. We can give this planet life, something that it's never had in its history, possibly. It's like, that's so cool. That's such a cool I understand why they've done that. It's kind of what I was thinking ahead of time, but hearing Todd explain it in that way, it's like, okay, that makes sense. And the fact that they alert the player, hey, you have chosen to land on a planet that has no life. Just so you're aware, it's going to be really boring out here. Don't go looking for stuff. As long as you know that, I think you only have yourself to blame. If you're like, dude, man, I spent like 5 hours in this stupid game. I didn't find anything to shoot. Like, I ran around for 5 hours. It's like, at that point, if you made that mistake and you burn all that time and that was not something you were looking forward to doing, you only got yourself to blame. And they've made that abundantly clear, and they've designed it so that they point you in the direction of the interesting things to do, but they leave that door open. If you want to go and explore an empty world, you can totally do that. I think that's brilliant. And I think what we're going to see here with that is something that has really major implications of improving everything. So very excited about that. I'm stoked. I think that this shows that they've learned a lot. He talked again about his failures. He talked about how bad he felt when on each of his projects, one of which almost sank the company. And he talked about dealing with depression, of realizing that he might have cost all of his friends and all of the people that he cared about their jobs, their livelihoods. He talked about that in a way that I honestly believe that I don't think that he's willing to do that again. I don't think we're going to get another Fallout 76. If we do, I think it's over for him. Honestly, I do.
Well, we've been saying forever that everything is riding on Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, so I honestly think that he's learned his lesson, that he's not going to do the same thing. I think that's why they delayed the game, and I think that's why he's wanting this to be a massive success. Yeah. As always, don't pre-order.
Yep.
Don't assume. Don't get yourself overhyped. We've all learned from this in the past, and I want us to remember that.